Do you want a simple 6-step plan that you can follow to help you be able to deal better with failure in network marketing? Now, I'm not going to say this is a great plan for you. I don't make big promises. All I can say is I got 328 no's in a row at the beginning of my network marketing career. I had to learn how to deal with failure in network marketing in a much more productive way than going home and crying and the stupid prospect anyway, and and just being destructive as I was being and all that guilt and overwhelm. So these steps really helped me. I hope they help you, and we're just going to dive straight in. And they work, by the way. I did end up sponsoring over 750 people and becoming the #1 international earner. So these steps worked really, really well. We're going to go reverse order, starting at 6 through to 1, and I'm going to give you a free additional powerful resource at the end of that #1, so you'll be rewarded for your time. Number 6, are you gripping too tight? Like that was me. Oh man, I needed to make money. People say you should never need to make money, Richard. You should never need it in network marketing. You should just consult with people. Hey, do you want a job? I needed the money. So I was desperate. So when I would come into, if you were a prospector, man, I'm laughing before I even say it, in the early days, do you want to join a business? It's the best business. You'd be like, whoa, chill out, Richard. This is a $95 trillion industry. You need money. You should join. Probably not quite that bad, but I don't think far off. So you may be gripping too tight, and every no you get and every failure you get, you're like, you're frustrated. Like, have you ever seen like someone in a sport that requires detail? Maybe like golf, for example, right? I don't play golf, but I can imagine if you're 1 degree off when you hit the ball, by the time it gets to wherever it's going to, it's way, way off course. So if you start tensing up and you try and chop at the ball, I'm guessing that's not very good. I know it's not. I tried to play it once. I ended up messing around on the buggy and throwing the ball because I could throw it further than I could hit it. And the more tense and agitated I got, because I'm competitive, the worse it got. This can be true in your network marketing business. So just relax a little bit. Okay, things aren't going to plan. Give yourself a break. You're probably new at this, or you probably have never had many results at this before. So you don't actually know how to get big results just yet. It's a process. If you turned up for the first day on a job and the person next to you had been doing it for 10 years, would you compare yourself to that person after a week? Well, I can't believe it. Look at them banging out this job, doing really well. I'm such a loser. I can't. No, you wouldn't. You'd say, give yourself a break. I've only been here a week. I've only been here a couple of months. They've been here for a decade. It takes time, my friend. It takes time. So yes, keep investing in resources. Keep soaking up knowledge like this. Keep taking actions. Understand that progress isn't just about getting a sign up, getting a sale. There are steps that move you closer to that. And if you're taking those, recognize that, okay? Number 5, do you have something to look forward to, or is the future just a struggle? Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. If you're wondering why I'm looking off screen on the video version here, I like to make sure I don't miss anything. We just recently went to Croatia. I love to travel, okay? I'm not really a big buyer of stuff. Like, I like things, time is so precious. You never know when it's going to be up. I never had a great childhood growing up, in terms of we never took many holidays. I didn't have a father around. So I've always wanted to fix that with my own family. So vacations are very important to me because those are the best memories usually. Going to a new place, new food, we are relaxed, we're all together. So vacations are very important to me. That's where I spend a lot of my money, a lot of my time. So we went to Croatia recently because I want to have something in my diary or my calendar all the time that I'm looking forward to. And it doesn't have to be vacations, it have to be expensive. I do this in my home life too. We have a walk booked for the weekend. Maybe it's a meal out in a restaurant, maybe it's just a movie night. Something that, if you're just looking forward in your calendar right now, and all it is more hardship, more hardship, more hardship, how are you going to be motivated, passionate, energetic, enthusiastic for these people to say yes to you in your business? You think it's just about your business? People rarely have pure business problems. They more often than not have personal problems that show up in their business. Maybe that's you. So get something you're looking forward to where you can relax and enjoy yourself in your calendar, okay? Also, I mentioned it earlier, but I want to make a particular point of this as number 4. Success is a ladder, okay? Some people start right near the top of that ladder from previous results, from previous experience, from their personality. You, like me, the ladder was across the other side of the car park. I wasn't even anywhere near it. So because we always see results as being top of the leaderboards, getting all the sales and sign-ups, you may be failing to recognize the progress that you're making. So what I want you to do is I want you to set aside 3 actions that aren't a physical result. They're not really as tangible as sort of say a sale or a sign up, but it's definitely something you can quantify. Maybe right now you're getting nobody get back to you. So it could be if I get someone to respond to me. Maybe right now when you show a presentation, no one's interested. Maybe it's someone saying, hey, I'll think about that. You can think of 3 actions that, okay, aren't a sale or a sign up, but they're leading you to that point, and it gives you an opportunity to be able to say, hey, puff the chest out a bit. I made progress. I'm getting closer. I did better. That's very important. Number 3, let me just scroll my screen a second. Number 3, know why you are doing this and connect with it daily to remain grateful and focused in the tough times. This industry is a tough game to play. Rejection, people not saying yes who you thought would say yes, failure, it taking way longer than you imagined, right? Just all this stuff is around in your head on top of the reasons why you're trying to do this, right? So you need to balance these out. If all you're experiencing is rejection, negativity, no, and you don't really have anything tipping the scales, those scales stay gudum, rock bottom, annoyed, maybe even depressed. I don't want that for you. So what are we putting on this side of the scale to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm actually feeling a little bit better. I'm actually feeling a little bit more positive about this. So we need to connect with why we're doing this on a daily basis. See the results for yourself. See the elevation in lifestyle so you can say, hey, you know what? I've got some confidence. I'm going to get there. May not be right now, but I am going to get there. Okay, a little bit of that weight has been lightened. Okay. Number 2, you don't always have to have absolute belief in the end result because sometimes we can't quite see it. But we do have to have absolute belief in the strategy that we're following will lead us to that result. So again, you don't always have to have absolute belief in the end result because that's going to change as you get better and better. But you do have to have absolute belief in the strategy you're following is going to get you that result. So instead of always looking so far ahead and feeling like it's out of reach, instead I recommend to you again today, you take some steps to connect with someone, buy a program, buy a course, whatever it needs to happen, where you can have a strategy that you look at on a daily basis and you say, okay, my results aren't what I want them to be yet, but I really know and feel in my heart of hearts, if I follow this strategy, if I follow this, it's going to get me to where I want to get to. Okay? That is very important. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start work and you're going to be like, what am I even doing this for? This doesn't even work. It's not even working for me. What's the point? Right? And that kind of thinking is very, very toxic, as I'm sure you can see. Number 1, okay? Number 1, before I give you that access to that resource. Number 1 is you've got to change your standards, okay? There's a quote that I love. We are not the highest version of ourselves we can imagine. We are the lowest version we will tolerate or we will accept. Acceptance of your actions is your standards. Would you clean your teeth any less than twice a day? I highly doubt it. Why? Because that's just what you do. That's a standard of yours. It's just weird and unhygienic, you probably feel, not to do it twice. Would you not shower yourself after you worked out? Of course I shower myself after I worked out. Why? Because that's a standard of yours. There's a level of hygiene that you won't dip below, right? So what we really need to do is, we need to change our standards. You need to understand that you only fail when you quit. So you need to stop being so black and white with yourself. I didn't get the result I wanted. Well, I'm a loser, okay? No, that is not the way to go about things. That's the way I used to feel, right? And it doesn't help you create success. What I did instead was say, you know what? Did I learn something from that? Did I learn something that took me closer to my goal? And if the answer was yes, well, then I didn't fail. I learned a valuable lesson. Do you know who the most successful people are in this industry? They're the ones that fail the quickest and fail forwards. The ones who fail forwards the fastest. That's a better way of saying it. The most successful people in this industry, the people who fail forward the quickest. Because they figure out what works, they figure out what doesn't work, and they do more of what works and stop doing what doesn't, and they get to the result quicker. Most people in this industry, if they just got a bit braver and stopped being so embarrassed to be seen starting small or to be seen to fall down now and again, would charge forward quicker, would eat up those lessons and would be far, far further on than where they are now. That's just the reality of the matter. It's a matter of perspective. Anytime you make a mistake, are you hard on yourself? Or do you say, hang on a minute, what did I learn? How can I use that? I'll tell you a quick story before I give you that resource. When I was a new driver, I made a mistake. I was moving into a lane to turn right at a junction, and I checked in my mirror, and I saw a person quite far behind me, and so I looked back to the road, and then I indicated, and then I moved. Now, what I should have done is checked over my shoulder, but I didn't. And what I didn't see is the person in the lane behind me didn't want to let me in. So they'd accelerated to speed up. So in my mind, they're moving like this. I put my indicator on and they put the foot down. You could say that that wasn't very good driving, but it's my responsibility to check over my shoulder. So as I moved, boom, into the side of the car. Now, I was really tough on myself about that. Should have checked over my shoulder. That was so stupid. But I was like, but from now on, I'm going to look over my shoulder every time I change lane. A number of years later, I was joining a motorway freeway for my American friends. You know, you filter in, foot's down, I've got to get up to speed. And I'm indicating, and I'm coming from a higher area, I'm dropping down onto this motorway. So because I'm going down, I have a good view of the other traffic, and there's no traffic there. So I'm just going to come straight on and go straight to the outside lane. I had a fast car and straight to the outside lane. Now, I'm about to join onto the motorway, and I think, I hear myself, you always check over your shoulder. So I check over my shoulder, and a big truck, boom, comes down the side of the car. Missed me because I hadn't moved into the lane because I'd checked. Now, 100% I would have hit that truck. Now, I can't give you a percentage on this one, but I'm pretty sure I would have been dead. Big truck, traveling at speed, it would have hit my driver's side. I mean, it probably would have just gone straight over the car, right? So I would have been a pancake in that car. And I thought to myself, wow, what I didn't realize was I was coming from above, but the motorway was coming up a hill. So what I saw was just not enough of the road. I didn't see the drop in the road, so there was a truck coming up that drop. I didn't see that. So that I checked over the shoulder and saw it. Now, if I hadn't have had that mistake, small mistake, I had to change the door on the car, nobody was injured, back in those early days, would I have looked over my shoulder at that point in time? You know, I don't think I would. And so then, was there a point to that mistake earlier on? Did I learn a lesson that was way more valuable than the punishment I thought that was happening, or the consequences at the time? The consequences weren't actually negative, they were actually life-changing, life-saving even. So stop viewing your mistakes that are making right now as just mistakes. Stop being so tough on yourself with these impossible standards that you're trying to live up to. You can't win every time, but you can learn every time. So then there's nothing to fear. Was that useful? Okay, was that helpful? I hope it was. I've given you 6 steps there, which is quite a lot of information. I usually only break it 3 or 4, but I was sort of thinking about the subject of dealing with failure, and I was like, man, if you can do all these 6 things, I think this would really help you, and that's the main reason for me doing this content, so I wanted to put all of them in here. Now, I have promised you a resource which is free, and that is inside my Facebook group. So I put lots and lots of trainings inside this group, but one in particular I want to draw your attention to, because a lot of people this would change their life, is a training on how to get to 5K a month in your network marketing business. 5K a month for a lot of people is part-time in their job, or even going full-time in network marketing. 5K a month for a lot of people is finally taking some dream vacations, paying off a car, paying off a house, investing in a house, clearing debts. It does a lot for a lot of people. That figure comes to mind a lot of times, a lot of people I've worked with, and it did for me too. So I've gone way past that point financially. I've helped many people go way past that point. So I have the knowledge to help you get there. I can't promise results, but I can promise you that training is free, and it's inside of my Facebook group, which is free to join. So if you go to the link that is in the top comment here on YouTube, or it's in the description of my podcast, you can click the link, you can request to join my group. I will approve you shortly, and then you'll see front and center. You can't miss that training. You can dive into that, take plenty of notes if you want to share it with your team. In my group, there is no companies promoted. No one's allowed to pitch you. It's a safe environment for you and your team to grow your business inside of your existing network marketing company. Be around 3,000 other ambitious network marketers and get some of my deepest, best detailed training, all for free. I hope to see you over there. As I always say, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. I hope this was useful. I hope to see you over in the group. And if you're a subscriber, I'll see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day, and bye for now.